Hey everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy TCG Study Hall. Today I'm with...
Iron.
And Noah.
Hey, we did it. Guys, if you want to check out the podcast or any of our other content, make sure to go to TCG University on any of YouTube. We are on Twitch sometimes now, Facebook, and Patreon, all under TCGU, like I said. And check us out there. Check out all our previous videos, all our future videos. Get notified when we go live and such. Every Tuesday we record matches on Twitch for our campus championship. So make sure to check those out as well. So as well as if you have a podcast service you need, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, like that. If there's none we're on, just let us know. We'll fix that. You can check us out there. Shout outs to all of our Patreon sponsors: AD, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Chris Miner, Clay Cardwell, Jay Rogers, Jarrett Hubbard, John Stone, Justin Farst, Kat Maria, Josh Stone, Justin Farst, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Lucinda Letica, Andrew, Paul Casagrande, Samantha Stevens, Theodore Ruiz, Tyler Zane Pease. And we have two other sponsors, Cards Custom Build and Ink Gaming, but we'll talk about those more later. Probably in an ad. So how are you guys today?
Go ahead, Noah.
I was expecting Byron to go first. I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Wait, did you just cut out?
I don't know, did I?
No, you literally just, you started your sentence as, yeah, I'm doing fine.
Okay.
I just made no noise afterwards. Just, you cut yourself out. You just stopped. You let it, you said the sentence in such a way that you were going to continue and then didn't.
Way to go, Noah. Now we gotta restart.
No, fuck that.
Man.
I had to do the intro once already. Man, intros are rough for me. I'm not good with them.
Yeah, he struggles a
You
bit.
did alright. You did good.
It's because it's too orderly. I don't like order. I like chaos.
How are you? How are you doing, James? How's everything going?
I'm pretty good. I looked at FF decks all for about 3 hours today. It was pretty nice. I did that. Watched
He
some
has
YouTube.
like a 400 card deck.
I think it's only 180, and they're all one
How
ofs.
How many opuses are you through?
I am through Ice for Opus 3.
Okay.
Always
So
getting
you'll
there.
probably be at 400.
Man, I'm gonna keep going. So the main purpose of it is I just don't know any cards in this fucking game unless like they're the commons and uncommons we have in that random ass box. So like
Well,
I don't know really much about this game, and when it comes to like Weiss Schwartz, I know all of the sets I'm playing because like those are just the sets I play and I've collected those. And then for like universes, I have memorized practically all of the client for that. So I can probably read you the entire thing front to back.
I want to prove this. I want you to prove this to me.
we
Not
don't
right now.
have time for that.
Amy. Amy.
Whoa, I
Amy's
said
the
not right now, James.
what?
I said not right now.
Oh, not right now. I thought you said right now. I was like, well, okay. It's a good start. But like, so like for Final Fantasy, I don't think it's as easy. I think the deck client is not as easy to use as like UFS Ultra or, in my opinion, even Encore decks. Just because like when you're looking through cards, it doesn't immediately tell you what the card does. You have to like click on things and then look into it, click out of it, add it into your deck, and do a bunch of things just to kind of like funnel through cards. And then, which is the reason I spent 3 hours just trying to get through 3 of the 3 opuses. Is just because like I have to click on a card, read the card, then decide if I want it, to then click on it again to add it. It was a bunch.
Don't you just hover over it and it expands for you a little?
Just a little, but not enough to where I can read it.
That sounds like a
Man,
you
your
problem.
eyes are bad.
I mean, I am blind sometimes.
Alright, well, my day was pretty good. I had Easter today instead of yesterday because I worked yesterday.
Oh, I saw you posted a video.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
did have Easter.
It's real cute.
Yeah,
Real cute.
thanks, man. Appreciate it. You got cute kids.
They are
stalking you,
pretty
dude.
cute. Well, no, it just popped up on my Facebook.
He's gonna take your kids.
That's not true at all.
Oh, no.
He's coming. Hey, you want to play some
Byron's-
cards?
Wait. You can have them Monday through Friday. I'll take them on the weekend.
Shared custody. Jesus.
You guys got enough people over there to take care of people.
Here's the thing, though. We don't.
We'll
We're so
practice for you
busy.
guys later.
We're so busy doing so much shit all the time.
Dude, I
It's
feel that
just-
one.
It's ridiculous.
Uh,
So like
That's
I
pretty
bought the
much my day.
I bought the FF decks to see what you're talking. It doesn't like as so much as like increase it as well as much as it like expands the cards away from it to where you have full like view of the card, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really pop it up to see it. I can look at my deck. It'll expand those and I can pop those up, but that means I have to add everything to my deck first, and that's not happening.
Don't want to do that, yeah.
So yeah.
Like for me, like when I'm looking at FF decks, like it's all the words are pretty clear for me.
My computer screen might just be too small for that. It's not super big. I have like a tablet thing, so
That might be it. I don't know.
Tab overload. Speaking of computer screens, guys, primary topic.
you guys all enjoying staring at yours for 10 hours a day.
Right.
Oh, I have to work, so I don't get to.
I mean, I still have to regardless, but that's whatever. So I guess moseying right along, we've got our primary topic is online versus offline play or
Benefits.
interactions and such. Yeah, the benefits of online versus offline.
Yep.
Hey Byron, you want to kick this off? What are some cool benefits you can list for either side?
All right,
Which-
so okay, so obviously I prefer to play on real life, just because it's a lot more interactive and I don't know, just it's better. But the benefits for me personally for playing online is that I actually get to try out decks that I couldn't normally play in real life, without having to proxy it, and I hate proxying.
I'm on that boat with you. Absolutely hate proxies.
Yeah,
They're the
Like, I
worst
just-
thing on the planet.
I physically want to have the cards in order for me to be able to play a deck. So like that's like the good part about playing online is that I can actually play test with other decks that I can see if it's my play style or if I actually enjoy playing it at all.
Yeah.
That's the best part. And then I can buy it in real life if I really like it.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I
Uh,
Oh, go ahead, James.
you're good. I was just gonna say like I in this entire week have been refusing my own urges to just buy like TTS and all this, just to try and play games, because I know how much I'm not gonna enjoy it because of how much I like feeling cards in my hand and just like yeah, like I absolutely hate proxies because like how much math I put into my brain to shuffle. Like so much how much math matters when you shuffle, how much math matters when your opponent cuts. Like my brain just feeds off that energy, and it
Got a
doesn't
solution for you, James.
it doesn't exist with static numbers.
So what you're saying is you stack your deck.
No, what I'm saying is I like the randomization of a human.
Oh no.
Yeah,
James?
definitely. Oh no, you unplugged your headset.
James, I got a solution for you. Ready?
Okay.
So you grab a deck in real life and then play online and then just shuffle your deck that you have in real life.
Well, here's the thing. I already do that.
I hear
Well, there you go.
I hear that there are people play over video calls and stuff. So like they
Yeah.
have their actual cards and they just sit and play. I feel like that's too much because there's a delay and that delay just really irks me.
I mean, like, if you really want to feel cards, like, it's probably the option I'll end up doing for playing Weishwartz. Because, like, Andrew won't leave his house, and I don't think he likes playing on TTS either. So we're just going to end up just, like, top-down playing matches.
Fair enough.
But that's just how it is.
I kind of agree with Byron. Like, obviously, we play card games with actual people 90% of the time, except for now. So
Except
we're
for-
used to that, and that's what feels better. Online does have the privilege of letting you build and test out your decks
Oh, for
any
sure.
way you want.
I'm
'cause
not,
you
so,
have
like,
access to all the cards, but
I'm
like,
not telling people not to do it. I'm saying I don't enjoy it. I actually think it's a
well,
great
yeah,
tool for people.
it's
an
it's
extremely
really
good
good.
tool,
I think like
especially
I
currently.
use Untap for Dragon Ball a lot. Um,
Yeah.
to build and test decks. And I'm starting to use Octagon a bit more for Final Fantasy, but like that's as far as it goes for me though. I can't because I know a lot of people are hosting tournaments like online, and I can't imagine doing that. It just seems like too much of a hassle. Personally, I mean, hey, people do what they want to do. If it works, it works. But
Yeah, but
mean,
like some people just don't enjoy it. Like I know I want it, so like I'm not gonna like participate in any online tournaments because I'm not gonna enjoy it at all.
yeah, Travis didn't like it.
I don't know. I've been trying to play for the LWG tournaments lately. Granted, like at first I wasn't on board with it just because of the prize payout, but at the same time I also just kind of want to play in a tournament.
Yeah,
So I've been kind of trying to actually play it, but it's been really hard for them to even get a tournament going, just because there's not enough people and they have a requirement of 8 players or more in order for them to start the tournament.
yeah, that makes it really hard
Yeah.
because
So
like
like the last,
not everybody's
go ahead.
schedules that fit around that, especially because like the amount of time it takes for a tournament to happen is so much more time consuming. I think that's
Yeah,
one of the biggest downsides is that it's a lot more time consuming.
like tournaments don't just happen in one night.
Yeah,
They
like
happen like over a
I
week or
feel like if
two.
you're gonna do it, you would have to do it over a week because people, like, sure, some people will have like the free time, but others don't. They pick up extra hours or they just, like their work schedule and their life schedule, are
Yeah,
conflicting a bit more.
Well, I think Final Fantasy is a lot easier than other card games because it's just best of ones, and the tournament that they did, like the one that I actually watched, was pretty quick. It was about the same time that we'd have playing at the store. Just because it's 30-minute rounds and you just play on Octagon. So I don't know. It felt pretty similar, minus, actually playing in real life.
Yeah, I guess also the biggest part too is just people's connection.
yeah,
Yeah, that could be a
Some
big
people can have
factor.
really good, really solid connections in your match. Your match will go smoothly, that's fine. But like there are times I've tried playing on different clients for different card games where like connection just isn't there. My
yeah.
opponent's played like 7 cards in the blink of an eye, and I don't know how all of that happened.
You just like nothing
Yeah.
happens for a few seconds. You're like, cool, they're thinking, and then like
Yeah,
7 to 8 things just move all at once. Just
yeah. Oh, okay. I see. That's how we're doing. Like you're trying to like scroll back through the chat log to figure out what happened, because obviously like your opponent's not going to explain all that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say though, those chat logs, oh, so good. Like, and it's probably only because it's online that I catch myself just like drifting off and doing other things. But
Oh, most likely,
being able
just
to
because like
pop back in front of my computer screen and be like, oh, what I miss on the chat log is really nice.
because you have the availability to be able to turn away and not have anything change,
Yeah.
or to have like the screen just to recap it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we just had chat logs, no matter what we did in life, it just pops up. Somebody said hello. Hello. just like it just pops up.
I don't
Make
know,
life
man.
a lot.
It's
It make life a lot more interesting. That's for sure.
maybe a big nostalgic thing. I just feel like playing in front of somebody is a lot more interesting. I don't know. It just feels better. It feels so weird to play against somebody through a computer screen because like in general, people act differently when they think they're anonymous. You could just
Yeah.
have the worst experience because you got matched up, like you matched yourself up with the worst guy, or you got matched up with the worst
Yeah.
guy.
Like that's why I think like people are gonna. We might see a shift a little bit into people playing like webcam top over, and just playing like real matches, just because like people want that interaction.
Yeah, I would definitely. That's probably my go-to at this point. It's just the delay in things that would get to me
Yeah,
because I like to play card games a bit faster than most. I don't try to take deciding stuff unless it's really needed. So the delay between like a webcam, which isn't that big, but it's noticeable when you play it enough. And then like the person on the other end thinking of how they want to like play out their turn is it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another
I
thing
had
that I kind of feel, um, I think that like the way that your deck gets shuffled, computer, or through the online versus real life is very different too.
it is. James explained he
That
stacked so random shufflers online don't let you stack your deck, am I right?
it's not about stacking. It's about the number of differential between randomness.
So he's
Computer
stacking his deck.
computers are set with a random number generator can pop up more less statistical number generation than people think it does. Because a computer does actual randomization where everything is perfect, which means the likelihood of something happening happens twice as often as like a human doing it.
You
A
calling
human,
Noah not perfect?
I don't have to. This world's not perfect.
This world.
Well, that's
Well,
the truth.
I mean, considering where we are now, yeah, you're right.
Because like it's like we talked about this a little bit on the UFS podcast too about how we didn't really get into it, but like how much randomization goes into like everything you do most of the time. Like UFS, it's a lot more because like you make a bunch of checks and do a bunch of things so often. But like
UFS is like rolling a six-sided die consistently.
yeah, and like it's every time a card changes a position, it changes numbers drastically. Because we play more cards and different numbers and stuff, like the possibilities are like just grow. And then like for like Final Fantasy, you end up with like you draw 2 cards a turn instead of 1, so that changes the randomization of 1 card because you have to draw both at the same time. So then there's no possibility of like what could the next card be because the numbers change again, and like it's this really weird intricacy of like I went first and he went second. So I only drew 1 card at the start of my turn. So I have like that extra card in deck. What's the randomization of me drawing extra YZ card? And like you were playing in a match before when we were having the internet troubles and you guys were just chilling playing a match. And you were talking about like I need to see this 1 card. And like just like the numbers change so drastically that like
Well, yeah, I needed like 4. It was 4 cards total at.
you needed 4 cards?
No, I needed one
I was gonna say.
of 4 different
Oh.
different cards, and each card was at like a 3 of at least. I just
Still
didn't see
in
anything.
still in deck or
Still in deck, and then right at the end before I conceded, he hit 2 of those cards, and I was like, okay, whatever. 2
How
out of
many-
like
Nah,
how many cards in
Let's
deck?
see.
How many cards in deck?
2 out of like 12. I had like 32 cards in deck still. 30, 32, 30-ish cards in deck.
I had that
Felt
many.
bad.
I was down to like 20.
Yeah, you played a butt ton of dudes real quick.
Oh,
I just played out my hand. You played from deck.
Were you playing the water
Man.
build? Were you just dropping
What,
some
me?
Vikings?
Oh no, dude! I was playing Gomez.
Wow.
Yeah, he needed to. If he didn't have Golbez, then he was it was
I drew 2 of them at the same time.
Does Y'shtola shut off Golbez's auto on death?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Ooh, nice. Another counter. Cool.
So, do you think the online meta is any different from the offline meta?
I would say it is. I personally haven't seen too much, but I'd say because people have access to any card they want, the decks that they would play in an offline meta, they're able to boost up or they're able to just change the deck into the one that they've been wanting forever. So, or people just play essential meta decks for like main tournaments and roll.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that too, but I think that if you're online, you can play the best deck. So you'll probably see that more often. Like if you're actually going to be running a decently sized tournament, that's not like like a local. Like if it's all online, you're going to see a lot more meta decks, more like the
Mhm.
big 3, you could say, of the decks in Final Fantasy. You'll see those more prevalent aside from other ones. But like for local tournaments, I do think like it can just be very different from real life, just because you do get to actually kind of test things out that you might not be able to test when you're actually playing in real life.
So I'm looking at. I'm gonna check out some of the numbers here. Let's see here.
Calculating numbers.
I'm gonna see if I could. I just want to look at numbers to see like stats wise. See if I can find something.
Dude, speaking of randomization though, since we were on that topic as well, for it, I don't know, dude. I feel like it's a better benefit in offline. I don't know. When I shuffle my deck, I feel more confident about where things could be, or uh, how well I'm shuffling. Online shufflers, at all.
You stack.
I
Is that what you're
stack.
saying?
Definitely. Yep. Me and James, we both stack our decks.
Hey, stacking is the future of card games.
You just look at your opponent. Hold on. Let me put these where I need them. Put that
Just
there.
one
Put that
second.
there. Put that there. Put this Fanfred on the top. All right. I think I'm good.
Fanfrit? Oh, snap.
Une,
I could
Fanfred,
do that.
Veritas. I'll get them all when I can pay for them. That's pretty cool. Zidane, right on the very top, so I always see it. But no, like online shufflers are just really weird. I was trying to play a game of Weiss with Travis, and now I know it can happen in Weiss as well, but this man burned through his climaxes super early in one game, and then the next game barely saw his climaxes until it just didn't matter. I was like, dude, rough.
That's another card game where like numbers like change so drastically so often. It's because every time you do something, you see a card. Like every time you get rid of one card to draw two more during your turn after drawing already for your turn, and then every time you attack, you see the top card of your deck to do a cool thing. Every time you get hit, you take an X amount of damage from the top of your deck, and numbers change so often. Man, I love maths. I like math so much.
Yeah, I
base deck.
Obviously both have. Oh, yep. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just saying that I think Weiss is a very luck-based game.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
That and Cardfight Vanguard.
Haven't played that game.
I have not played Vanguard in a very, very long time.
Same. I played it back in Coliseum days.
I haven't played since set 1.
Man, it's really funny that you mentioned Coliseum, because I was thinking about that.
Were you old enough?
No.
Do you know what Coliseum is?
Not at all. That's the funny part. So like the other day I was driving home and I was talking to my brother and he mentioned Portal Land, and I was like, man, there's just like a bunch of different game-esque stores that just don't exist anymore. And Coliseum popped in because a lot of people would talk about Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it there. It was cool.
Portal Land was also really good. Portal Land was. I heard a lot of people were disappointed that it had to shut down.
I would believe so. I think Portal Land was like the biggest place for the Smash community at
the time. I think so.
Because I definitely went there and played Smash Bros. When I used to do that, and then I stopped playing Smash Bros. Got into card games.
As you should.
As I should, yeah. Card games are cool. If I want to play Cloud, I'll just play Final Fantasy. It's fine. But yeah, like they both have really good benefits, and I guess some have. I mean, there's drawbacks. Personally, I think just offline is better. I'd rather sit across from somebody, and there's just a lot of tells you can get from your opponent when you sit across from them in real life than like over a computer screen as well.
Yeah.
Like Travis and his sigh when he knows he's just not gonna make a comeback on something. He does that a lot.
Oh, he sighs when he's giving up hope himself. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like you know when
it's just
when
a solid.
Yeah,
like something just happens and he's just not okay with it, but he knows he can't do anything about it because it was random ass luck, and he just goes,
Yep.
Just the most defeated sigh in the world. Okay,
I
so
hope
I
he
was
watches
looking. So I was looking through the tournaments and meta stuff. So this one's going all the way back to, this looks like February 29th. This is the Mega Phoenix Circuit Summoners Cup. There are 1, 2, 3, I would say 5 green decks, 5 win decks. And then we have 1, 2, 3 earth decks, and then 1, 2 lightning, and then 2 fire. There's some splashing going on with like some ice, and a couple of these are splashed with each other, earth and lightning, fire, whatever. They're a little splashing around, but like predominantly at least like 30-45%, something like that, is those colors of decks, which isn't too bad. Like green is kind of dominating that entire bracket right there. But then if we go back to like the last tournament for the Discord meetup for Japan, the one we were talking about earlier, it is
Yeah.
predominantly green and purple, solid
Dude.
green and purple.
The,
It is
yeah, the
1,
second play
2,
is
3.
really interesting.
It's 4 green decks, 1, 2, 3 purple, and then an ice deck. And there's some
And-
red. There's a splash of red and yellow, but like it's solid green and purple practically.
Do you wonder like how people are? I mean, obviously some people might just be saving up to build their dream
Oh, yeah.
online deck, but like once everybody's able to stop quarantining themselves and like go out and go back to card shops and play, do you think that's gonna change how like
Metas?
yeah, because people maybe they'll just default back to the deck they were using, but I feel like if you play with a certain deck for so long, like and you
You'll
like
wanna
that
have to
deck,
get
you
it,
you
yeah.
want to play that deck. Like this ninjas deck I want to play. I will
Like-
still play WoF while I have it, but
So like the way people can see it is like, instead of spending the money you would normally spend at your LGS, like if like for like tournaments and whatnot, tournaments, buying a drink while you're there. Oh, I looked at the singles case and bought a single card or whatever. You could literally go, well, I want to build this deck and take all that money you would have spent on that and then spend it on filling out this deck.
Yep.
Like I know Andrew from the White Shorts podcast is trying to build out meta decks for every single like SA and like I think B tier deck. Like almost every single deck in standard he could possibly build. Like
That is gonna take so much money and so.
he's
Man.
already got
he
like
loaded?
11 decks built right now.
Lord,
Like
how many of those are F tiers?
so he has every good deck currently. He has every top tier deck currently. I think he's missing like one deck which he's working on right now, but like other than that, he's like everything. Like
That's
and it's
crazy.
so like the only one he doesn't have right now is Sword Art, but that's because Sword Art has a 0/0 that just says it's worth $30 by itself. One of.
okay.
So to get a place out of it, it's $120.
Thanks.
So
Jeez.
like to get the deck he wants, it's gonna be expensive, and like this isn't even max rarity. it's just base is 30. Like that card is so dumb. Like
Yep.
it's just solidly good, but because of its rarity, it's just a $30 card. It's just a double rare. It's just like one step of like a rare you would normally get in a pack, but like it's just for whatever reason harder to get, and everybody's like, "Ooh, I want this card," so it's a $30 card.
Yeah.
I can't
It's-
imagine like having to like max rarity every single one of those decks that he has.
I don't think he's gonna try
It
to
would-
max rarity him.
Shoot, that reminds me now.
I think he's mostly just doing it to like play test.
That's good.
Speaking of pricing and whatnot, do you think prices?
Will change.
I mean, like prices fluctuate in general for card games usually, but like there's always like a semi-stable. But I
Yeah.
feel like with people playing online and online tournaments being a thing, since everybody's able to try out any card they want, like a lot of cards that weren't played or were overplayed just kind of may fluctuate a bit. I haven't
Yeah.
checked it out, but it's just a thought now at this point.
It was one of the things I was thinking about too, because like, oddly enough, buy and sell is skyrocketing right now. Like TCG player market, Facebook marketplace and stuff like that are just skyrocketing on like people trying to either sell cards because they won't use them right now and they want to make
Yep.
money, or people trying to buy cards because they have extra money because they're not spending money on anything, so they're
Dude.
going to get stuff they need. and
I'll
like
tell you,
it's a giant like bloodbath of just buy
I've
and
been paying
sell.
attention to auction houses on Facebook, and like some of them are just steals. The amount of
Oh, yeah.
cards you get are like good value cards for such what would be considered a low price is hilarious. And the quarantine happens, and people are like selling that thing for 130. I'm like, what a price drop.
Yeah. I think certain cards are gonna maintain their value just because they're always gonna be good.
Yeah, as they should.
But yeah, but I think I do kind of think with the amount of testing you can do online, some cards are gonna definitely fluctuate to what the price would be if you were playing in real life a lot more.
Hmm.
You're gonna like it's weird because like without having to show up somewhere and without having to play in tournaments and just getting to free build, we're gonna end up with like a lot of like crammed playtesting. So like things that would have taken like a whole 2 years to figure out is gonna only take like 3-6 months. Just like all this crunch time of stuff that like this combo would have worked like 4 months ago if somebody thought about it. It's gonna get figured out in like 2-3 weeks. Like it just because people are just gonna have nothing to do but grind that out.
The first sponsor of this week's podcast is InkedGaming.com. Are you looking to get a custom playmat? Well, then we suggest you check out InkedGaming.com. They have custom playmats, dice bags, mouse pads, and much, much more. Shot out of a cannon. James, what would you get on a playmat if you had to pick one right now?
7 Swell from America 7.
What is that?
It's like it's the aftermath of like them launching a nuke practically.
I love Nuke.
I love
I
nuke.
love Nuke.
Yeah.
Technically, it's like a reaction between like a robot and.
Well, you can get it on a playmat. What would you get?
I'm Izuken.
Izuken.
Yeah.
What is that?
Stop!
anime.
No.
New anime?
right now.
Yeah.
I've fallen in love with it.
Is it really good?
It's
It
like
is.
Edda and Eddie the
It is.
anime.
So
It's
it
the
has
way
been
it's described
described
to me.
as if Ed, Edd and Eddie was an anime about 3 girls making an anime.
Wow. Well,
It is also made by the same guy that made Ping Pong the animation.
I'm super in. You could definitely get that on a playmat
you
with
would. It's Ping Pong the
InkGaming.com.
animation.
Spider-Man, obviously. They even recently added stitched options to their playmats and mouse pads as well. I've got a couple of these stitched playmats. They are exceptionally good. They're so, so good. They just never fray, they never curl, nothing. So if you want to get 10% off of your order, please use the code TCG University, all caps, no spaces at checkout, and help support the channel by customizing your game to your style. In addition to Ink Gaming, we've also got Cards Custom Build. Are you in a cosplay, looking to get in a cosplay, or you want to show up to events dressed as your favorite character? Well, Cards Custom Build can help. Cards Custom Build creates everything from cosplay accessories like props, trinkets, or weaponry, all the way to full costumes, full stop. James, if you had Cards Custom Build making something right now, what would it be? It could be anything. Full costume or...
It'd probably be Weiss's weapon from Ruby.
Are you sure? Because he could easily make the gun from Gears of War. Easily. The big chainsaw gun?
There's a lot. There's a lot I would want.
Well,
Okay?
give me an example.
Yeah, you got the Gears chainsaw.
Uh-huh.
You got the Halo sword.
Uh-huh.
You got a bunch of things you could do.
He would do some sick stuff with a Halo sword. Just saying. It'd be real, real pretty. Tyler, how about you, man? What would you want?
Something from Steven Universe, I think.
Yeah?
You
Yeah.
get the Steven Universe shield.
The shield and the sword, or like Garnet's gauntlet.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
Those sound hype. Those sound hype. So if you want a cosplay made of perfectly flowing cloth or maybe a rigid battle armor, the new Mandalorian show just came out and finished. Season 2's coming out. He's an expert at making a bunch of nerdy Star Wars stuff. The work is guaranteed to make you the talk of the con. So go over to Cards Custom Build on either Facebook or on their Etsy account. Link will be in the description down below. Make sure to mention that TCGU sent you their way, and you will get 5% off your entire order. Back to the show.
Yeah, just sit
do
and think
that.
about what they want to do.
I think metas are gonna get either real stale real fast, or are gonna be hype as fuck for like any card game.
It's
either
one
gonna
or other. There's no in between.
Yeah, like I don't think there's an in between. I think it's gonna get hit stale real fast because everyone's just gonna be like, "There's just no option. You have to do this thing or you lose." Or it's gonna be wide open because everybody's like, "Oh, you can play this and it counters this and this counters this," and it just starts just like bouncing everywhere. And then there's just open market.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't want it to be stale.
Oh no, but like it's harder for card games not to get stale, especially when like I know a lot of companies are just like pushing back any of their releases just because there's just nothing for them to do.
That so like that makes sense too. I guess that's a topic we can cover on as well. Is like the pushback of merchandise.
Yeah.
So like, I know universes. We were supposed to have My Hero. What like initially? What was the first?
We had no date. The date is just May. Just May.
Just May.
The date's May. We don't have an official date yet. It could still happen.
They push it back further though, didn't they?
No, they made a release and just said, "Hey, we're not doing anything right now. We're just kind of hands off right now. Just nothing's happening. We're putting a stall on everything. But hey, we make puzzles.
We make Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Come on.
Hey, I mean, go and support that Kickstarter if you like Buffy the Vampire
Aren't they
Slayer.
hollow too?
Yeah, they're foil puzzles. It's it's really cool. If I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I might have like done something with it. But like I just don't care about Buffy.
They
But
do
like
Hero.
But like it's
Ooh.
like if they did like oh my like there's a bunch of cool things like if they did it for their like their Red Horizon license, like their own IP license, the one that they own, I would probably buy a couple. Like I'm not joking. Red Horizon is one of my favorite things they've made.
I should play Red Horizon for Exceed. I haven't seen how all that works, but
like
yeah, like it just seems I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but a lot of things are getting pushed back.
yeah.
Especially like for card game players, because a lot of people are just not making cards. Like they're not letting anything be printed.
They don't have the availability to. Like
Yeah. So at that point,
the company's not. If the company itself wants to print something, but the company that prints something can't or doesn't want to, the company that wants to print things just won't get to print things. Like it just.
So if everything is getting pushed back, and let's say like for some reason, come June, everything's okay in the world again, and they still have all their stuff, like all their products still pushed back, like I think that would also help like the meta develop fully too.
Like having more time to kind of like fill itself out.
Yeah, just because sometimes I feel like on some card games, like sets are coming out pretty frequently.
Yeah, it's the way like so like I think about this a lot because like Dragon Ball's hell on a road of just digging itself into a hole of
It
just
is.
day by day is something new. Just like, hey, this is coming out. Hey, this is coming out. And then like Pokemon's kind of the same way. It's just like every single couple of weeks you got some new type of product. Here's a new type of blister. Here's a new tin. Here's a new this. Here's a new that. And then you have Weiss Schwartz releases a new set every single month.
Dude, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
So like, it's weird. Do you know JP does 2 sets a month?
Yeah.
What? How can
Yeah.
they afford that?
Well, so here's the thing. So like outside of like Final Fantasy, Weiss Schwartz is IP, and you play a single IP depending on like if IPs can mix or whatnot.
Well, yeah.
It'd be like if they released 2 sets in Final Fantasy and base one off of Final Fantasy 10 and one off of Final Fantasy 7, but you can't play the 10 cards with the 7 cards. So like they do it like because you're not allowed to like mix sets unless they share the same set number, basically like the same sets license.
Like Sword Art.
Sword Art. So like they have like 5 sets. There are 6 sets of Sword Art in standard. One of them doesn't count as part of that license. It's the throwaway other show that's not actually Sword Art. Alternative. It's Gun Gale Alternative or whatever. But
Gotcha.
Yeah. But there are like 5 sets in standard of Sword Art that mesh together. But like they release them separately within like the last 10 years or whatever. So like it's okay. It's not like every single like for the last 5 months has been Sword Art. It's been here's a Sword Art set. 4 months later, here's another Sword Art set. 3 months later, here's another one. So you end up with like a bunch of different sets. Like this month alone is gonna be, or what's supposed to be, in line. So like from like the last sets we have Goblin Slayer, Heaven's Feel, Fate Zero Heaven's Feel. You have we're gonna have Reincarnated as a Slime. JoJo just came out. We had a Sword Art set that just came out. We're gonna have Adventure Time. Like it, we would have a bunch of different
Adventure
releases.
Time's
This is
isn't
the
that
new
the English set?
We'll see how long it remains an English exclusive. That's another topic for another show.
Still think they should do
not
remake,
this
but
series.
That's
but like they just release all these different sets that don't intermingle. So like you get to pick and choose what you want to play.
That's
So you don't
fair,
have to
yeah.
worry about having all those different sets.
I mean, what universes, UFS, either one. I guess universes is the current one. Was like every quarter was a new set,
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
roughly.
They were trying to aim for like one every 4 months
Yeah.
or one every 3 months. Sorry, which isn't too bad.
Oh, I
Uh,
can't.
I
I
think
can't for the life of me track down Final Fantasy's schedule yet.
It's every
I-
3 months.
It's every 3. Okay.
I think if companies did like every 3 months release a set, I think they'd be fine. Like, I think one of the issues like a lot of people have with card games is just like how much money certain things end up being. It's like you end up in a situation of like, I spent a lot of money on this set, and then the next week they go, hey, we released this cool collector's thing. It has the 5 new cards. They're really good. Probably gonna end up playing them in a deck. They come with like a pack of sleeves, yada yada yada. And it's like, man, I really want to buy that, but I just spent all of my money on this set, and it's just like having so much release all at once, like back to back to back, just kind of like drains people.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball is like the number one thing on my
Dragon
mind.
Ball is
just
probably
like-
the poster boy for that, for what I know, because like,
It's crazy.
we
How much
had
they release.
God last year there was a lot last year because that's when I started playing. And
Let's
we're
just not
already
get
on.
into it. There's a lot live from like the last 3 years. Like
I mean,
since I think
yeah.
like set 3, it's just been ramping up every single like couple of months, and it's just
I
crazy.
started near the beginning of last year with Destroyer Kings, and now we're already on set 9. So that's 3 sets, not to mention anniversary boxes and draft boxes
Yeah,
and all the stuff in between. Like,
like
whew.
they've been going crazy with it. That's one of the things I'm actually okay with for like Final Fantasy is they haven't gotten too out of hand yet.
Yeah, like the collector's tin and like the 2-player starter decks and whatnot,
Yeah,
aren't
but like that's
terrible,
not too
'cause they're
like
there.
for what they are. For what they are, they're not terrible. Because like they're not trying to add on to like a format. They're not like every single time they release a set. Oh, here's a collector's thing. Here's a dual pack. They built starter decks so you and your buddy can play, and then they release this collector's edition because they're about to hit like set 11 or 10, right? Something like
Yep.
that. So
11.
like, yeah, so like they have 10 sets to go. Like here's a collector's pack of this. Like there's now a legacy for the game because they've been through like 10 sets, which is a lot, especially for a card game.
Well,
Because
it
not a
also
lot of card
is,
games makes it that far.
it's not like things have vanished off the market either, because like
Yeah.
there's anniversary boxes and draft boxes and stuff for Dragon Ball that just don't exist because they're not being printed anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody's gonna have
We-
them at this.
Can you hear
Is
me?
he though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay. Does anybody know where I was at with my thought?
Not at all.
What'd you say, Tam? You don't either? Cool. Okay, so we'll just do like a 3, 2, 1 clap so that way Tam knows where we're at. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, we lost it there for a second. But like, just having a legacy in the game is really hard. Because like, a lot of games don't make it to 10 sets. They kind of drop off. Something else comes in and kind of takes away the shine that they had. Their game's really cool, but like these other games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic and stuff have this stronger legacy, this stronger like player base, and they don't have to try and grow on their own. They're already grown. So like there's no forcing of like, man, only 3 people showed up for this card game that just came out that's really new that I enjoy playing. And then next week, man, only 2 people showed up this week. The other person couldn't make it. Then you decide, I'm not going to go. There's only going to be 2 people. And then like you just nothing kicks off. Like Final Fantasy's made it to 10. They have you. They have you in your hands.
I mean,
They're coming
I think
at you.
what keeps Final Fantasy going though, obviously the IP will do it as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's just the variety. Like, you can build a deck of just Onion Knights. Like, there's enough
we were talking
Onion
about
Knights that you can build a lot of different Onion Knight decks. You can build the 1-drops that boost their power consistently because you have multiple different elements, or you can just build the janky one that John had built that plays
I
an
just
Onion
really
Knight.
like the art of Onion Knights. The Onion Knight looks
Yeah.
cool. That was actually the only reason that 2-drop Onion Knight just looks really cool, and I just like the look of all the Onion Knights, and I was just like, I'd do this. It's the same way I feel about monks. I'd build
Dude.
I'd build a monk Onion Knight Dark Knight deck. Or I was also looking at Dragoons because I think there's something with Dragoons you could do.
Dragoons are
Dragoons are really
hilarious.
cool.
You can just play a Dragoon deck that boosts the power of your Dragoons
Oh,
to
yeah, I saw-
unreasonable numbers, and they just don't die.
Well, how are they supposed to? They're unreasonably high.
Your opponent just eats the damage or sacks dudes, and in the end they just lose cards at
Yeah.
that point. You're just eating through their deck.
So, I do like the fact that Final Fantasy does give you a ton of options.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is that my favorite character in Final Fantasy, even though I haven't played the games, is Zidane.
Yeah.
There's so many versions of Zidane that I literally want to build a deck that fits every single Zidane that's in the game.
So how
Well,
does
there's already. Oh, go ahead.
working with multiple characters that have the same name work? Can you still only have?
Yeah, so like if you have two different types of Zidane in your deck, you can still only have one Zidane on the field because
board?
on the board. Because most of the cards, most of the characters, I guess, for forwards, they're gonna have either a symbol on the top right saying that you can
Yeah.
play 3 of, or if it doesn't have it, then you can have one of that name on the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, that's honestly
like-
why I think like ninjas is half as strong. It's just
Yeah.
because ninja says majority of my base guys are multiples, and all the guys that you only need one of, or like you want to see, you only ever need one anyways.
Yeah.
Like it's just a way to help fill out and build up your board really quickly.
It also gives you a bunch of diversity. Like if you want to play multiple different ones, you can play multiple different ones and just know if you ever have one on board, just ditch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, I find some
really
of the
good for,
times
like,
when
special.
specials especially as well. I find that like sometimes when they print two of the same one in the same set, one of them's god awful and one of them's okay,
That's usually how that works.
and it's usually not the one with the better art.
Yeah, unfortunately.
one-
Dude, the
the
art,
one with the
art
one-
style's so good.
The one with the real art is never the good one. The one that is like their like the plated art, the one that's just like we stuck the concept of the character on it and then put the concept of the character shadowed in the back. That card's always just a little better than the other one, and I'm just like, why?
Oh yeah.
Why'd you
The 2CP Water Zidane, that's my favorite art.
like? Why would you make this card
It is
worse?
exactly
You put the cool art on a bad card. Why?
Dude, the Black Mage and Warrior art out of Opus 10. Oh, so nice.
I would look it up, but my computer died while we were doing this.
Oh,
So-
no.
I'm looking it up because I want to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the Ice Black Mage and the Earth Warrior. I like those art. I like the art style. I also like the original art style. That they have. So like, there's is it 4 CP Lightning Cipher? I love the way that card looks. It's so basic, but so
I'm gonna pull it up on the phone so I can see.
Oh yeah, that Black Mage is really cool.
right.
I love that art.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I think Opus 11 came out at just the right moment to keep people busy figuring out how to incorporate that with the meta for Final Fantasy, given that like everything else is essentially pushback.
I
Is
definitely
it
agree
this?
with that.
Is it this Black Mage Soldier or the Black Mage?
I
The-
think
What set?
oh, what
Should be
is
the
it?
black. It's a black.
What set is it?
Opus 10.
Opus 10.
Oh, okay, so it's the ice one.
Yep.
Solid. Give me a second. The images aren't popping up right now on my phone.
Trash.
We'll get there. Show me. Hey, pictures. Show me. Oh no, it reset again. Black Mage. I'm trying to see this art. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. That was the one where I want the sleeves. I want the sleeves for this. That card looks so sick.
No, we won't
Yeah,
have
dude.
them, James.
I know it's because we can't have events.
Oh
Rip
no, I
dreams.
want the sleeves too.
They're so cool.
Yeah, they are.
It's so like I need to find some sleeves for my Final Fantasy deck that are Final Fantasy sleeves, but I want them to match the theme to my deck, which is why I wanted the Black Mage because it's an ice card. But like I really like the Moogle sleeves that were handed out with Opus. I think it was 9 or 10. You had them, Noah.
Oh yeah. It's just the plain Moogle sleeves. It's not Chocobo Mog sleeves, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they
Like
were Opus
they
9.
they look really cool.
Yeah.
I found like you had like one ripped one that you just like tore in half and left at our house because I guess fuck us.
It.
But
I thought I threw that one away. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whoops.
so like I found it when I was putting sleeves in a place or whatnot, and I was like, man, this is really cool. I want like a set of these.
Yeah, no, I really like it's weird because majority of the time I hate sleeves and card like that the supplier gives you for card games because they just feel weird.
Yeah.
But those ones are actually really nice, especially for Final Fantasy. It's the Mog sleeve.
So it's what I've realized is character sleeves are god fucking awful at any point ever. If it's Ultra Pro, if it's Ultra Pro, Dragon Shields, no matter what, the character sleeves are god fucking awful. But if like you double sleeve them, like if you oversleeve the sleeves, they're pretty all right.
Yeah.
But you have to be okay with having a thick deck because they are double sleeved. It's something I've learned from Weiss is just like you have the sleeves because you like them, but the problem you have with the cards is the sleeves is that they fray and they tear easily. So just take care of the sleeves. So just double sleeve them and protect them is what I found out. So like that's what I've been doing is like I have the Sophidia sleeves for the UFS deck I'm playing right now, and I really like those. So I double sleeve that deck, and I haven't had a single issue yet. And it looks real nice.
Hey, if you're winning on that, win in general.
So if you guys have
Still
any more
trying
of those Moogle sleeves, or if for whatever reason people have that Black Mage sleeves,
I have extra sleeves of something if you want them.
I have a couple in my room. I have a couple of like
Okay.
Sam's old ones that she had. I just have to figure out what I want to do with them. I think they're the red. Man, I think they're either a set 4 or set 5 set. I don't know. Like one's red, and then I think one has like a Yuna on it or a Riku, something like that.
Oh, so we did touch base on it earlier, and we poked a little fun at Travis for it as well. But like, I wanted to talk more about this. I kept a pin in it, and it just like popped back into my head. Tells that your opponent gives.
Nah.
That's like one of my biggest
It's-
reasons to
Play
play
in
against
person?
a person. Yeah,
Is getting to be able to see tells and
because seeing tells really changes up how you play.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you sit down across from a person, it's, I mean, it's not just like who has the better deck and who can play their deck the best. It's who
there's
can
a
get to the other's head.
there's a mental game to it.
Yeah, there's
There's a lot.
real
There's a
big
lot you
mental
don't
game.
get to see when you're not face to face with somebody. There's a lot missing from that aspect of the game.
Yeah. Like I'll sit and I'll play a bunch of random dudes online, and if I know how the deck runs, I kind of just feel like I'm playing a bot at that point. No offense to any of them.
There's no feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot because like that's kind of the way I felt when I like back when I played Yu-Gi-Oh and we played like Duel Links because I like that one because like everything kind of runs smoothly. But like I just don't play anything anymore online. But like it ran smoothly. You talk to people, but like you never really got past further than like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and then they'll go, okay, I have a response to that, or I'm gonna do X instead, or Y Z. And it's just like there's no like witty banter. You're not interacting with your opponent. You're not having fun. It's just, hey, I'm doing a thing.
'Cause
Cool. I'll. That's fine. I won't counter your thing.
you could do that, but the problem is it's very time consuming.
Yeah, because you have
And
to
like
type
if there's
it.
one
They
thing
have
that
to
card
read
games
it.
are is time consuming.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Like at least I'm almost positive for just about any major card game, a single round is at least one round in like 2 out of a game or whatever is like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast your deck is and stuff like that. Like it's not something you just sit down, do, and then pop up and leave.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I plan around that.
For like being a competitive format, it's not. It's a lot more time consuming than things like playing like a video game, like a fighting game. Like we use a lot of fighting game comparisons for like UFS because it was built more like a fighting game, for like the concept wise. But like, it's not as fast as like any of that. Like you're not gonna sit down, have your entire match, which is already longer, which is already more games than you're gonna play in a video game. Than you're gonna play in like a card game. So like we play like 3 rounds or 3 game matches, and then like you'll have fighting games that'll finish those 3 in like 10 minutes.
See,
And then
it's
just,
really
like, walk
funny
away.
because I watch a lot of like finals for certain fighting games. So like,
Yep.
and it's always the grand finals that baffle me because losers bracket winner versus winners bracket winner, and it's if losers bracket wins a best of 3,
They have to play
then they
again.
go to like another. They either do another best of 3 or a best of 5, and they finish that in like maybe 30, 45-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And in that time, like people could still be in the process of playing a game or
Yeah,
like
like, it's
just
just-
starting their second one.
Like it's the amount of time consumption that happens inside a card game is ridiculous compared to like other like video games and whatnot.
How do you guys feel about the 30-minute time limit and best of ones in Final Fantasy?
So
So
how does time work for this? How does time work for Final Fantasy?
It's a turn base. So like
No, that's-
time's called in.
Who wins? How's that decided? How do you decide the outcome of that game?
So
if time is called,
no one-
it's the person with the taken the most damage loses.
Okay.
pretty sure it's a double loss.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the
Yeah.
person that takes the most. Oh yeah,
No,
you're right.
It's you still get like 3. Each person gets like 3 turns or something. It's like a, and then if no one has won the game, then you both lose.
Seems about right. It's a JP thing. It's
It
equal
would make
opportunity.
sense.
Yeah.
You don't want them stalling out the game, so
Yeah.
like in
Why
in
Schwartz-
case they actually
Why
intentionally
Sports
stall.
does it too. I'm not a big fan of like 30-minute games, just because like personally I just want to play more, so having more time to play is better. But like I get 30-minute games. I hate the idea of not getting to play a match and just playing one game and having a random outcome change my one game I get to play.
Yeah, like
I
oh,
could
your
just-
opponent top deck like one of the 2 of in his deck or something.
I dead drew and drew nothing that I could play for like 3 turns and then got bopped in the face and couldn't do anything. It just like I would hate to lose that one game like that. Like just
It happens. I
Oh,
think
it-
so. Like, I think it's
Terrible.
good to keep the game sped up. In larger tournaments, I would see that being a thing.
is there a difference between
But-
tops and singles? Tops and Swiss?
I believe so in
Time-wise?
Final Fantasy. Not time-wise.
No.
Actually, no. There might be a difference in time-wise because I think it's best 2 out of 3 for like majors.
Solid.
Usually is.
Yeah.
Man, that makes Swiss like completely luck based almost.
Yeah. Well,
Like
and this is one of my biggest gripes is that I remember a while ago, there was a Crystal Cup that a few people went to from LWG to like in Kansas City or something. I don't know where exactly. Sorry.
SKC is
But
Lenexa.
It was Swiss. Wait, what?
It's Lenexa.
Oh, you
And
seen
KC.
Byron knows.
well,
Yeah.
like the only
It
place
was,
to play in KC is Collector's Cash.
That one. That's where they played it.
It was Swiss, and in Swiss it was the best of 1 30 minutes, and then they did tops, like top what 16, and they did a draft,
Yeah, so
and
like
then
I heard
they
that about
cut
that
from
too.
that. Oh,
It's top
I
32 at the top 16 or
oh,
top
that's what
8
it
after
was.
the draft, I think it was.
Dude, I can't do a draft after that. It just because
so like it's really weird because like I hate the idea of doing a draft as your deciding factor of limiting your already limited top 16.
yeah,
I hate that idea. I would love the idea if draft existed in like a weekend format, like if it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, and like, or like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, and like Thursday you played draft, Friday you played standard, Saturday you played L3, Sunday like, and then like you just span this out and like have like a collective points round type thing, and like the people who got the most points collected from all those events makes it into the tops to play whatever type format or whatever. And you played it that way. So like top 16 is decided by the top 16 best players from all three of those events.
yeah.
I just think playing an entire singles event, playing a single style deck to then have to play top 16 as a draft is really
And then
shitty.
go back to your deck. I think
It's real
putting
weird.
the
I
draft
hate it.
in the middle is probably my biggest concern. I mean, putting it at the end would be way worse, but putting it in the middle just or in general just feels bad because when I think about it, it's like I spent all this time practicing and building this deck to then lose because I drafted bad cards.
See
Or
now, so I'm pretty sure now they have an all-star draft for majors, which is essentially they've made this like matrix of cards from the game that are, decent cards that they have put into this all-star draft. So it's not like you get to, draft with like Opus 11 only kind of thing.
So it's like a star pack from Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah,
type of thing.
essentially, I guess.
That's
But they're
cool.
picking like, pretty decent cards for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
most of
yeah.
the cards. So,
Almost like kind of like a cube type shit.
yeah, essentially.
Cubes are cool. I think a cube format would be cool. Like if it was like a
Yeah.
dedicated cube format,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
See, man.
Because then you have drafting and like set numbers. So like people know it's like almost like getting into like a legacy card game, where a living card game, not right. Yeah, you get into like the games where they're preset things
Yeah.
like versus and
card games.
whatnot. Yeah, living. Okay, I wasn't sure if I had it right. It just sounded
Because
weird
like
in my head.
the Chrono Clash thing is the same way. You just buy the expand or the sets and you have all the cards.
Yeah, like I think that's really cool. Like I like those card games because like everything's preset, and then all you kind of do is kind of like rotate good cards. Like, oh, we'll ban these this time to kind of like let everybody test a bunch of other things and have fun, and then we'll ban these things, we'll unban these things and ban these things, and just like you have an entire rotation of like how things would be built. I think that'd be really cool for Final Fantasy, especially since like apparently like no one likes L3, and I think cubes are cool.
You heard it here, folks. James thinks keeps fix Final
Cubes are
Fantasy. Fix L3, not the game. The game's fine. L3 is actually. Ugh.
What if you just played L3 as a cube? What if you played L3 cubes? That's how you played your L3
L3's
tournaments.
Still so weird.
Yeah, but it's
I just
cube.
feel like
It's
3 sets
draft.
is too small. That's the biggest issue.
It's just draft.
I mean, yeah, but like,
It's limited draft.
I don't know. Maybe that would work.
I actually don't think it would. I think it makes it.
This man's
like-
arguing against me that it would, and then goes, nah.
He's
I'm just
arguing
saying-
himself.
Like I don't know
This is
much
how
about
you always
L3, but
act.
like the reason like cubes are cool is because like you get to choose the diversity and like the range of how you do things. Like I think a cube from like 1 through 10 would be really sick to look at. Like what did they choose? Because like so you keep a bunch of like your basic like 1-2s that have no abilities because they're just free cards that you can use for anything. They don't have like it really meshes with my thing. It's just solid bonus. It does its one thing. And you don't have to worry about it doing anything else. You just play it knowing that you're going to get your thing to do something. And then you have your other cool cards, which is like, I got this one card that says, if I have these 2 other cards on board, this 3rd card goes off. And it's just like, it's really cool. I'll probably never get to play it.
Yeah.
Like, it just having the possibility to have so much randomness while not having the randomness of having to pull them, but like having a strategic number that matters the entire time when you're going through stuff. Like knowing how many is going to be in this cube versus what's the how many times can I see this one card in this pack? In these packs that I'm about to see. Like it just, I know there's going to be 3 of this X card in this cube, but I could see like 6 of this one card from these packs I'm opening for this draft.
Yeah, this is making me miss just sitting and playing games. Oh boy,
It's the one thing I get upset about from recording all these podcasts.
you just want to sit and play card games.
I just want to play card games. And I have to sit here and talk about card games without playing card games.
Yeah. Dude, that's so. I guess this is also another interesting point too. Is that building decks online? I need visuals. I need like the full card. I can't just do like card and a bit of like or a wall of text. Like I need to see the card and stuff like that. It's easier for me to build online, not because I have access to all the cards, just because like I can see the deck.
You can see
all
the cards
together.
you can see the cards you've been looking at, the cards you're looking at currently. And you
Yeah,
can start like jumping between them.
yeah.
You can look at the lines of
which
each
is a
card
big bonus.
continuously. Yeah.
Trying to do it in person, like oh man, trying to build a deck in person is really rough when I don't have an outline for anything. Because it's hard to just match up cards that I think are good and not having everything there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that.
Like I was going through FF decks earlier, and like it tells you what your top 3 classes are, top 3 categories are. It tells you a bunch of stats for all the random, even for all the random shit I threw in.
Mhm.
Like I thought that was really cool. I have like 20 standard job units, 6 sky pirates, 4 ninjas. I was like, these are some pretty cool stats.
It definitely helps to see other lines for your deck that you're trying to build.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Man.
It
Where are you
is
going
though,
with-
because like online, you get the full visual of your deck as James said, like you get to flip between all the cards that could potentially go with your deck that you want to put in. It's really hard to do that when you can have your full deck there in front of you, but like doesn't mean you have enough space on like a table or whatever for all the cards that you want to look through.
Yeah.
Online definitely gets a bonus on that one. Like that's one of the biggest benefits is deck building's a lot easier. And I like that. I love that so much.
Okay, so we'll recap. We were talking about our main topic was supposed to be online play versus offline play and whatnot. So give us one like final closing statement.
I'll start. Cool. Nice. Definitely miss playing in real life, but there are benefits to playing online. Like I said, that you get to experience or experiment a lot more.
Just like the good old college days. All right, I guess I'm up. So, I'm definitely gonna say that playing in person to me is the better option. I'm sure it's like that for a lot of people. We're all used to it. There's just more interaction that goes on playing in person. I think not playing online, but using online clients to. I mean, I guess you would play to test decks if need be, but like to help establish your deck and get your deck up and running is really good. But I would never want to make that the default way to play.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And then and then for me, I'd say look into trying to play some tabletop games with your friends, like just webcam over the table versus their webcam over the table. Get to have a conversation like over Discord or something while playing with each other, ignoring the small time delay that Noah hates, and just
Make sure they keep their hands on the screen so they don't cheat or stack their decks.
yeah. You don't want your friends You don't want your friends cheating in this casual card game.
God, how dare they?
Well, thanks for checking out the podcast, guys. Remember, if you enjoyed the content, to like, share, subscribe, all the cool stuff. If you want to support us, you can go to Patreon. If you subscribe at the $1 level, you get access to our Discord and to watch all of our content live. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.